Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just wanted to share with you guys today a few things that I do just in my daily life to help me stay frugal and to help me to achieve my goal to be able to retire in 5 years comfortably. This is something that I not only do to stay frugal, but also I just really enjoy doing it. I'm sure you've seen a lot of channels that show you about, cooking from scratch, baking from scratch. And this is basically what it's going to be about today for some of the things, because again, this is something that I really enjoy doing. The more I've gotten into it, the more I've realized even how much healthier it is for you. Like today, I'm going to show you a basic, simple white bread recipe that takes 6 ingredients. If you look on the back of a loaf of bread that you get at the grocery store, you're going to see twice as many ingredients, if not more, just with all the preservatives in general. It does last longer. They do that so it can be more shelf stable, last longer. But with my bread, once I make it and we use it, I freeze it and I get it out, thaw it out, make toast, sandwiches. It still works out great and it tastes great. So if you don't mind, you want to follow along with me, we're going to get ready and get started. So what you see here, guys, in my hand mixer, right now I just have 5.5 cups. You can either use all-purpose flour or bread flour for this recipe. And just on a side note, if you stick with me for a very long time, you'll start to see, I call my KitchenAid mixer, her name is Hannah. I actually got Hannah at an online auction at a nice bargain price of $63. She is a professional grade KitchenAid, fully equipped. I use Hannah quite often. I did get her in Hanover. That's why I named her Hannah. So again, I just wanted to introduce you guys to Hannah because she is going to be a part of my channel. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Also to the flour mixture, I'm going to be adding 3 tablespoons of fast-acting yeast. Also to the flour and yeast, you're going to add 4 tablespoons of sugar. Correction on that, it's 3 teaspoons, not tablespoons. That's a big oopsie. To the salt, yeast, and sugar, I'm going to add 2 cups of lukewarm milk that is right now at 110 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's going into our mixture right here. And then with that, you're going to let it mix on low for 1 minute. And then once you add that, you're going to set it on the second speed. And you're going to let that go for 5 minutes. And we'll be back after 5 minutes to see what it looks like. Okay, so that is mixed for 1 minute. So now we're going to add a 1/4 cup. It calls for unsalted butter. I do not have unsalted butter, so I'm going to use my regular salted butter. And it calls for 1.5 teaspoons of salt. But I'm only going to put a teaspoon of salt and eliminate the other half because I'm using the salted butter. All right, guys, we're back. Here is what my dough is looking like after 5 minutes. So what you're to do now is take a piece of the dough off and do what they call the stretch test to make sure the gluten is there. So you want to do what's called the window test when it comes. So when you stretch it, it looks like you can see through a window pane. So right now, mine's looking like it's not quite there. So what they're telling us to do is put it back on and do it for another 2 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to mix it for 2 more minutes. All right, guys. So this is with 2 more minutes. And as you can see, when I stretch it, it does have that transparent look that you can actually almost see through it. I know it's not good on the camera that I'm using. I apologize. So that took about 7 minutes on speed number 2 on my KitchenAid mixer to get that. So after that, we're just going to put that onto a floured surface. And here's what it looks like, the ball of dough. So we're going to add that to a floured surface, and we're going to knead it about four to 5 times. As you can see, I have my floured cutting board here. So all I'm going to do is work this and fold this over. Like I said, just about 4 or 5 times. Get that good, get that gluten working. Just like that. And now I'm just going to form it into a nice dough ball, as you can see right here. And what I have here is a nice bowl, size bowl, that is lined with olive oil. And I want to make sure that I incorporate all that olive oil onto the dough for it, when it rises, it's easier to work with. So I have my dough ball in there, and I just need to get something to cover the dough for it to rise. So I'm going to just use a nice, this is actually a cloth napkin. I got these also at a online auction for pennies on a dollar. So I covered that. I'm going to put that into my oven with the oven light on. I did preheat my oven a little bit to like 170 with the door open. Then I turned the heat off just to make sure it's a nice warm area for the dough to rise. And we're going to let the dough rise for about 30 minutes to an hour. We're going to check on it to see if it doubles. All right, so here's what the dough looks like after 30 minutes of proofing in the oven. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and separate the dough into two, shape it up into 2 loaves, and then we're going to let it rise for another 20 minutes. So here's what it looks like after another 20 minutes proofing in the loaf pans. All I did was brush them with an egg wash. I'm going to stick them in the oven at 375 for 30 minutes, and when they're done, I'll give you a look at what, or I'll give you a shot of what it looks like. So here's what the 2 loaves of bread look like after they come out of the oven. It was on 375 for 30 minutes. Once I took them out, I just brushed them really good with melted butter. Again, this is not Instagram perfect, but it is great tasting bread. And it's going to be delicious tonight with our beef stew. And I'll show you what that looks like when it's done. So to go with our homemade bread, we're also going to have beef stew today. And I wanted to show you some of the things I look for just when I go grocery shopping. One of the stores that I shop at, they will have the yellow special price stickers. And these are usually on, especially the meats and the poultries that are getting ready to end their sell by date. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. They just can't sell them in the store. So I look for these quite often. As you can see, you know, this originally sold for $18. I don't know if that's a 5 or a 9, but I got it for $10.83. Also, you see this is a good sized chunk of the cubed meat. So I'm actually going to be using this for 2 meals. So you know, there are bargains out there. There are bargains to be had. Sometimes we just have to look for them. Again, I don't make any special trips when it comes to this. This is just a local store that I shop at. But I do make it a point when I'm there to just go around and see if I can find any of the yellow tags. And if it's something that I know I'm going to use and that I can freeze, I'll grab it. So that's just another frugal tip that I like to give everyone. And this is the beef stew that I was telling you about that we were also making to go with the delicious homemade bread. Very hearty, very rustic looking. And it's going to make a delicious frugal dinner.